My greatest legacy would be, and I think it's also in the social media. I was in a forum and there's a YouTube called My Legacy. And if you listen to it, for me, my legacy is leaving the world a different place, living the fashion space differently from what I found it. Because when I got into the space, it wasn't an easy space. It's a space where there's a lot of, jostling and sometimes backstabbing, and some people drag an opportunity off your feet, and there's a lot of tension. So for me, I was like, how can I be different? How can I be someone who will be able to give the other person an opportunity? How can I be somebody who can work with somebody else and don't look at them as a competition, but as someone who actually complement what I do, or we can work together, or how do we put things together? And Fashion Agenda Africa for me was that one thing that I can look back and say that I've been able to nurture and mentor and coach many thousands of African designers across Africa. We have mentees that we have mentored in South Africa. We have South Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and we're about 9 countries that we are in. And I really thank God for that, because for me, I never thought a noble thing like that would be, because in the era of social media and technology, many young people reach out to me on my inboxes and my platforms and say, can you mentor me? I admire what you do, or can you be part of my journey? And I just started to bringing them along and creating a platform for them. So I want to believe that Fashion Agenda Africa is something to watch for the future of Africa, not just for me. And one day history will remember that there lived a woman called Akinyi Odongo who started something that has lived beyond herself. So that's my legacy. Awards, to me, I've received several awards and accolades across the world. And I always say that it doesn't define me. The awards really don't define me. But it's also a way that I appreciate that someone somewhere is looking. And it's a lesson for me that I've learned that whatever you do, I believe in Ecclesiastes 9:10, and that is the verse for what I stand by and what guides me. That it says, and I quote in King James Version, that whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do it with all your might, because where thou goeth, there is no work. And as I'm busy doing what I am doing, because I don't have to do it because people are watching. When we are producing your jacket, or producing your skirt, or producing your gown, we believe that whatever we are doing it unto God, not to ourselves. And by doing it properly with a good finish, high quality, good stitches, well pressed and well presented, then we have served God. Coming in as a young designer into the designing space in Kenya, I remember after finishing school, I thought it's going to be easy. I'll just jump in. When you do your college or your university graduate, like, oh my God, I want to go there and be the best thing ever. You're like, and then you get in and you're like, oh my God. I thought I would swim in this ocean, and I hadn't even learned how to swim in a pool. Then you realize I need to go back and swim in a pool before I swim in the ocean. And it's not a walk in the park. And also not finding people who are ready to support the younger designers. And it's a continuous thing, even to date. There are many challenges that I've faced in life, and in the fashion space especially. But I never say I would regret for the challenges that I've been able to face, because they have made me stronger, they have made me wiser, they have made me be considerate to other people, they have made me not to judge people, or especially younger people who are coming up, because sometimes someone may think, oh, you're not well organized, or you're not putting your, but sometimes somebody just needs a guide. I embrace all my challenges because they teach me. And there have been so many. It's been funding, it's been sourcing of fabric, it's been having, tailors. Sometimes you train your tailors to your standards. It takes a long time to train employees to your standards. And then someone will just come and poach all of them. All. Wow, the highlights of my career, the greatest highlight for me of my career is after I'd done fashion for quite some time and having the vision and the belief that I need to go international. And it was a gleam dream. It didn't look possible. And as I shared around, I asked a few people, they're like, but what makes you think you can do it? We've not had anybody do it. And even to have a brand with my name on it, it was the biggest challenge for me. It was an uphill task because many people around me told me, how can you use your name? It's very automatically a certain tribe. And that what pushed me even harder to say, you know what? If I'm to change the narrative, then I have to stay put. And it was very clear. And as I prayed, and I was like, it was clear, I'm putting Akinyi Odongo. And believe you me, that looking back, my biggest supporters are not from, say, my community, The bigger part is not my community, Also going to international, platforms and just marketing my brand and talking boldly about this African brand from Kenya and just speaking as Akinyi Odongo and putting it out and trademarking it and pushing for it. It wasn't a walk in the park. So let's base things on values and be authentic and just be that. So that for me was a very key highlight, to just put Akinyi Odongo as a brand name and add Kenya to it, because it's Akinyi Odongo Kenya Limited, because I was very specific in also just marketing my country and Africa and saying that positive story about African brand made by an African, for Africa to the world, and just pushing that narrative and also passing this on to the people that I mentor, for me is a big highlight. And the other highlight that came with that brand name was when we were first launching the name. The first time that we ever launched that name is 2014. And it was the first time that the First Lady wore our first brand and did a cut of the pictures right there. It's one of my highlights. And the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Margaret Kenyatta, was gracious enough to agree to wear my brand on that catwalk. And she was, I think it's the First Lady in the world to do a runway. And the girls that were walking by her on the runway were also designed by us. So for me, that was the biggest highlight for us. And it was just an affirmation of what God has spoken to me in regard to doing the brand. And the rest is history, yeah? And receiving an award, an international award in Dallas, where an organization saw it fit to recognize me as a change agent in African fashion space. From Kenya, I'm like, that was the first award I got. Before, I'd never gotten any award locally. Younger upcoming girls, I'm very biased when people ask me about women only, because I'm a mother to boys. And I always acknowledge that there is no society that you can say it's girls only, but boys are very integral part of a society. So as a mother of boys, I will answer on behalf of youths in both sexes. Sorry, but I would say that my advice to younger people, especially those who are in the orange economy meaning the creative economy. It could be a photographer, a dancer, a singer, a poet, a designer, someone who draws, there's so much out here, and we have so much in Africa. We have so much in our country and in our continent. We are it. Like we are it. My encouragement to the younger generation, like, pick yourself up. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. That talent that you have, you can grow it to a multi-billion business. I always give an example of saying, if I was someone who's even chomaring mahindi, I would choma my mahindi and pack them and export. And my cob would cost for 1,000 bob or 1,500 because the way I've chomared it, added spices on it and packaged it, you know. Value addition. To the young people, what value are you adding to what you have, to the talent that you have? Because your passion can pay you.